it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, December 11th. So today we do have the moon moving out of her place of power in Cancer energy to shift our emotion, shift our heart space into something a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more excitable when we lock into Leo energy. We will have the moon go void, of course, at 1:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, we will be locking into this Leo energy at 3:10 p.m. We have 8 different aspects here today, and all 8 involve the moon. I do declare this a moon day, although Sundays are normally ruled over by the sun, with the moon in her place of power and transiting into Leo energy ruled over by the sun. I dare say that our emotions are going to rule today, and we will likely be feeling a shift from, I'm going to say, a little bit of a serious, somber, little bit whiny, little bit cryy type of state of emotion to picking ourselves up, drying ourselves off, tapping into a new, beautiful, bold type of energy, really shifting the emotion, shifting the vibration frequency of our heart space. So while the moon is still very much in her power in Cancer energy, we are going to trine, which is a beautiful energy, with Neptune, who is in Pisces energy. So we have Neptune, who is in its place of power in Pisces. We have the moon in her place of power of Cancer. And this is some water on water on water on water action. That gives us our trine. The water energies blend together. And what we're getting here is a little bit of a preview on aligning with our higher self, listening to our intuition, conjuring up a new vision and dream that we're actually okay contemplating moving forward and trying to manifest. The reason why I say that is, of course, the moon in Cancer would, typically speaking, prefer to romanticize the past, stay in a reflective state in the past. If anything, stay in this present moment. The last thing emotionally that we want to do right now is boss up and move forward. We kind of resist the temptation, if you will, to project ourselves into the future. But Neptune, of course, who just went direct, is giving us a little bit of a preview, a little bit of an opportunity to feel what it's going to be like as Neptune, of course, continues to bust out of its post-shadow period and give us the strength in our faith, in our beliefs, in ourselves, reconnect us to our intuition, to our higher selves, help us redefine our dreams and our visions, and realistically take a different approach on some of the tough love life lessons that many of us are still struggling to try and understand. The moon is going to make a very positive aspect with the true node of the moon. The true node, of course, being in this Taurus energy, is trying to get us on the right path, recognizing what it is that we have to build, what we have to create, what we have to give birth to if we plan on growing, if we plan on improving, if we plan on progressing at all, moving forward, bridging the gap between where it is that we're at and where it is that we desire to be. Emotionally speaking, like I said, we're flowing with this positive energy, and the moon being in Cancer energy is definitely more comfortable sticking with the same old, same old. So the fact that we are realizing A, what has changed, B, what needs to change, and C, what we're resisting as far as change goes, is definitely going to illuminate for us the baby step, the next move, the first step, if you will, in the right direction, moving forward. The moon goes ahead, makes a positive aspect with the sun in Sagittarius energy, of course. This is a positive energy for us to tap into. Anytime that the moon and the sun come together, it is usually giving us an opportunity to stand in this present moment, to look back, to see what it is that has basically created this present moment, where it is that we've come from, how it is that we got here, and then we look forward. That's where the sun is shining a bright light on where it is that we have to move forward in order to align with the possibilities of the future. And again, what's left is us here in this present moment, looking back, standing in this present moment, and then looking forward. And because this is a positive energy between the moon and the sun, we aren't going to be feeling the resistance of change, the hesitation to change, the hesitation to grow and improve. Instead, we are recognizing where it is that standing in this present moment is no longer feeling as content as it once did. And we are emotionally kind of prepared to do what we have to do to move on, to move forward. The moon is going to oppose Pluto. Pluto is in Capricorn energy, and of course, Capricorn energy sits across from Cancer energy. Both of them very much on the safety and security axis. The Cancer energy typically leans into the emotional safety and security, the home and family dynamic, while the Capricorn energy is outside of the home, the reputation, the career, the roles and responsibilities out in the world. We definitely are more focused on finances in this Capricorn energy, but basically with the moon sitting across from Pluto, the great transformer himself, we're definitely going to not be as keen to want to boss up and move forward as we might have been earlier in the day. And instead, it's almost like we're a deer in the headlights. We get caught realizing that we just kind of agreed with ourselves that change is a must, that change is necessary, that we do have to make some efforts to grow, expand, and improve our situation. But just when we make that move, suddenly we freeze up. We are paralyzed in this moment of realizing all that will change when we kind of push and pull and make the efforts in order to bust free from the past, to stand very freely in this present moment, to agree and align with moving forward into the future. Now, this may bring up some darker topics and themes, especially in our emotions, especially in our mental plane. And just keep in mind that sometimes the minute that we agree to do better, to grow, to improve, to push ourselves into a new reality, that's when the dark force agenda kind of creeps into our vibration and frequency and starts telling us about the fears and the doubts and the insecurities and the ifs, ands, and buts and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And again, making all efforts in order to prevent us from actually growing, actually improving, actually moving forward. We're not going to sit in this funk for very long, though, because the moon goes ahead, bumps into Uranus, which is a beautiful energy because Uranus pretty much shakes us out of that funk. It's an electric type of shock to the system where we just open up. We open ourselves up to change. We open up our minds. We open up our heart space. It's like an aha moment, an epiphany, if you will, that we can't unknow. This is going to shift us out of that dark funk in our mental plane and in our emotional state and empower us, make us a little bit more bold and brave than we were in those moments of darkness to continue to push ourselves to absolutely make the kinds of changes that we knew we had to make, that we got paralyzed in making, that now we're getting back on track with. So 150, as I mentioned, the moon is going to go void, of course, but before it does, the last aspect that it makes is a trine, a beautiful trine with Jupiter, who is at the later degrees of Pisces energy. Jupiter is about growth and expansion, beliefs, blessings, abundance. And in this Pisces energy, we're bringing these tough love life lessons full circle. We are bringing the amount of reflection that we've been doing over the course of the last couple of days with the moon in Cancer full circle. We are piecing things together. We have a different perception and understanding of why certain things happen the way that they did, creating a domino effect of situations that has landed us in this here and now. This here and now is very important because we are about to wrap up Jupiter's time in Pisces and re-enter into Aries energy on the 20th. So there's a lot of reflection, there's a lot of healing, there's a lot of aha moments, there's a lot of bringing things full circle in order for us to find a sense of peace in some of the hardships that many of us have been struggling to provide closure to. Now, this is when the moon goes void, of course. And when the moon is void, things get shaky, things get unstable, things get very uncertain. And we're going to explore that with the moon, still in Cancer energy, but void, of course, semi-squaring, which is creating a tension point, a conflict with Mars. Mars is retrograde in Gemini energy. He rules over our passions, our desires, our physical action, even our anger. And this semi-square is a tension point. It's a lesser tension than getting into the boxing ring with a full square, but it is a tension point nonetheless. And tension points are absolutely necessary for us to experience in order to figure out what it is that we fear, what it is that we're resisting, what it is that is creating the blockage within. Emotionally speaking, we're feeling very uncertain with the moon being void. We're bringing up all kinds of fears and doubts and insecurities already. We are very defensive, very protective of ourselves, of our loved ones, of our energy, of our thoughts, of our emotions. And this Mars energy, which is coming in a little hot anyways, agitated and frustrated as F, because of course he's retrograde. He can't take the action out in this external world to make the changes that he wants to make like he wants to, because he's internalizing this energy. He's stuck on the intellectual battlefield of Gemini energy, having to debate the pros and cons, the highs and lows, in order to find the comfort zone in between. So there is this agitation, and what I will say is that we will be very hypersensitive, very quick to lose our shit if we're not careful, especially while the moon is void. Now we will be shifting into this Leo energy at 3:10. And then at 7:55, we have our last aspect of the day, which is the moon in Leo energy, which by the way is a little bit of a pep in our step. We're feeling a little bit bold and brave and courageous. We're tapping into the positive qualities of the lion that Leo represents. We are a little bit more expressive, a little bit more hot to trot, if you will, because it is a fire energy. And the moon in Leo is going to make an interaction with Venus. Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure. She is in Capricorn energy, in Earth energy. So this is kind of low and slow. This is going to kind of, I'm going to say, pump the brakes on this fire energy that the moon just shifted into. What we're going to realize here, because of course, Leo energy, the heart and soul of the zodiac, very connected to the heart chakra, what it is that makes us happy, what it is that we're passionate about, what it is that we desire. Venus and the Leo energy have a lot in common. Venus is the heart chakra. We have to figure out what makes us happy, who makes us happy, what brings us a sense of peace and harmony and joy. And she is in Capricorn energy. She is not messing around. She is not really down with going through these emotional cycles. She wants to cut to the nitty gritty. She wants to kind of cut the bullshit away. She wants to be very focused on matter of fact and very analytical with these emotions that are coming up from the moon in Leo, because we don't have time to mess around to cry about things. We have to kind of, divvy up what is important, what matters, what's going to contribute to our long-term goals, our long-term success. And because of the interaction between the moon in Leo and Venus being in Capricorn, interacting in this kind of, I'm going to say, tension-filled way, we are likely going to see this manifest in our exterior realm. Maybe someone close to you is coming at you, not really jiving with your emotions. Maybe you're not feeling heard. Maybe you are realizing that the people that you're surrounding yourself with are not going to be around for the long term, are not bringing you the kind of love, support that is needed. The moon in Leo over here is very expressive. And of course, Venus being in Capricorn energy, not very expressive at all. So we are going to meet a little bit of a conflict in our exterior realm with some of our personal relationships, because it almost feels like one of us is taking the business type approach of practicality and logic and strategy and thinking long term, while the other person is speaking from the present moment, speaking from their heart space, which doesn't really compute that well with this Capricorn energy. So we are going to be kind of presented with some information, some facts, some emotion, if you will, that we want to process, that we want to compartmentalize, that we want to make sense of, in order to see how these people, how these elements are contributing to our overall happiness, pleasure, joy, and how they are going to continue to contribute for the long term.